the pillow cover. But oh my gosh, is this one of the most hideous outfits that we've seen from Meghan Markle in a long line of hideousness? This woman has no sense of style. She has no sense of tact, and she chooses ugly garments constantly.
Paris was unwanted, but it has also kicked up controversy once again. Beyond the ill-fitting, uninspired, quite embarrassing outfits, the humongous, ridiculous shoes, the insane duck-facing, as if all that wasn't mortifying.
Because this is not the I'm going to save the world Meghan that I envisioned. This is the I'm a celebrity, I'm desperate for a photo, I want to be in the limelight.
They say Paris is the city of love, but for Meghan Markle, it became the city of reckoning. She arrived expecting admiration, but what she got was indifference. And in the fashion world, that's a louder insult than hate.
Let's just discuss this moment here. A visual representation of just how much the Meg does not fit into this space. She is not appropriate for this space and does not know.
Paris Fashion Week was supposed to be Meghan Markle's big comeback story. After months of bad press and online mockery, she finally had her moment to prove the world wrong. The stage was set. Flashing cameras, star-studded front rows, and 1,000 eyes waiting to see if the Duchess could still command a crowd.
Or care to know how to handle herself or what the proper etiquette is. No matter where she goes, she can't be bothered with etiquette, and that is sad for a...
The energy backstage at Paris Fashion Week is usually a mix of perfume, adrenaline, and chaos. Models rushing, designers pacing, stylists shouting last-minute directions. But when Meghan Markle walked in, the temperature dropped faster than a designer sample in cold storage. People noticed. Oh, they definitely noticed.
This, where she laughs and turns to her handler, Marcus, who is decidedly not amused. And neither is anyone around them. Somehow.
Whispers spread like perfume mist. She's here, one makeup artist muttered under her breath, pretending to organize brushes that were already perfectly lined up. Even the models, who usually don't flinch for anyone, exchanged quick glances in the mirror. It wasn't admiration, it was discomfort.
Marcus Anderson knows not to be laughing at whatever just happened, but the Meg does not know not to laugh. How? How does Meghan not know to not laugh out loud?
There's something about Meghan that divides a room always has. Some see her as a woman who broke free from the royal machine. Others see her as someone who plays the victim a little too well. But on that day, neither side spoke. It was just quiet.
The funniest thing, guys, is that she thinks she's hot stuff. And she has no metric in her brain that goes...
And that's the thing. Meghan thrives on control. She likes knowing the temperature of the room, reading the energy, adjusting her charm accordingly. But this time, she couldn't read it. The crowd wasn't giving her anything to work with. No smiles, no greetings, not even polite nods. That kind of silence can rattle anyone, even a duck.
Out because she's trying so hard. The strutting is amazing. So let's just first overall talk about the fashion and why Meghan Markle was at this Balenciaga show. So I did just do a Meghan Markle search in Instagram.
Witnesses say her smile tightened, her posture stiffened, and her assistant started hovering closer as if trying to block the tension floating around her.
Look, again, this looks like pajamas. This looks like a Pope's outfit. This looks like a ghost Halloween costume. At any point, does this look good? No. The answer is no.
Some say it wasn't even personal. Paris just has a long memory. Fashion insiders haven't forgotten how she and Harry once criticized the British press, and by extension, the industry that helped make her famous. It's a world that doesn't forgive easily. Still, the chill in that room wasn't just professional. It was personal.
Fashion show. Like, obviously, somebody must have tripped or fallen or...
And Meghan could feel it. The woman who used to command rooms now couldn't even get eye contact. As one insider put it perfectly, you could tell she thought this would be her big Paris moment. Instead, it felt like everyone else had moved on. And she was the only one who didn't get the memo. Paris didn't have to say a word. The silence said it all.
From Zara, I got it when I was in Avignon, or I keep saying Avignon, Provence, in France, and it has these cute little bow details on it. But, I mean, it looks luxurious, but literally it looks out like...
For someone who spent years in royal spotlights and Hollywood flashbulbs, Paris Fashion Week should have been Meghan Markle's natural habitat. The Duchess knew her angles, her camera smile, and her lighting. But what she didn't expect, what no one prepared her for, was indifference.
PJs, and not sexy PJs. These are pajama PJs or PJs you wear like when you're down in the dumps, it's your time of the month, something like that. This is what she's wearing.
The cameras still clicked, yes, but without the usual frenzy. It wasn't excitement anymore, it was obligation. The kind of clicking photographers do because they have to, not because they want to. Even the red carpet reporters, usually eager to capture every blink and wave, looked bored.
On X here, because there's so much breaking. Meghan also just left her hotel, and I came to actually a very sinister conclusion about part of this trip, really.
Paris adoris authenticity. It can smell insecurity a mile away, and that night, it did. Meghan's composure started to slip, just slightly. Her posture stiffened, her laugh became tighter, and even her usual sparkle looked dimmed under those bright lights. The kind of discomfort that seeps through silk.
That I want to share, but let's watch. I mean, is this not Zoolander? Watch the strutting. She is strutting, guys. Strutting. And then looking back.
Then came the whispers. Not about her outfit, which was, admittedly, stunning. Not about her jewelry or her poise. No. This time, the talk took a turn that no publicist can spin. Something less visible, but far more humiliating. The kind of talk that spreads quietly between assistants, stylists, and makeup artists. Something
right next to her second husband, Marcus Anderson. Because I think we'll get to the conclusion at some point for Harry and Meghan, where Harry will claim there was another.
A few people claimed she didn't smell fresh. Others said it was more like nerves, that distinct mix of stress, perfume, and adrenaline. Whatever it was, the rumor caught flame. And once it started, there was no stopping it. Paris doesn't do pity. It does performance. And Meghan, for all her media training, couldn't mask the fact that something felt off. The more she smiled, the more uncomfortable everyone became.
In their relationship, and that person is Marcus Anderson, who is there with Meghan. But, like, could you get more obvious? Honestly, she looks super awkward. I think she's trying so hard.
By the end of the show, the glamour had evaporated. What was supposed to be a dazzling return had turned into something else entirely, a masterclass in how quickly. Paris can turn on you, because in that world, the crown doesn't matter. The aura does. And Meghan's, that night, it faded.
Action people moving around, perhaps somebody tripped or fell. I heard some people say that a model had tripped and fallen or, had a hard time with their heels. You never laugh at something like that.
Once the show wrapped, the real gossip began not in front of the cameras, but behind the velvet curtains, where the true Paris elite whispered over champagne flutes and half-finished croissants. Rumors spread faster than perfume in a crowded room.
Point of view from what Meghan was laughing at, so I can't say for sure what made her laugh, but no one else laughed. So that tells us it was not.
Several backstage staffers started whispering about Meghan's off-scent. One claimed it was a strange mix of cheap perfume and nerves. Another swore it smelled like someone trying too hard. That's the thing about Paris even. A rumor can feel like a headline.
Supposed to happen, and the proper etiquette is to not laugh. I mean, these models are putting themselves out there in outfits and shoes that they have only tried on like a couple of times.
One stylist reportedly joked, "You can fix foundation, but you can't fix that." Cruel, absolutely. But in fashion, cruelty is currency.
To ask sometimes. And even if it weren't models on a runway, anybody stumbling and falling, you shouldn't laugh at them. What if they got hurt?
It wasn't long before the glam team tried to control the situation. According to whispers, there were frantic sprays of deodorant, clouds of floral mist, and an overuse of powder meant to freshen her up. The effort only made it worse layering. Artificial over anxious.
First, it's not polite to laugh in any context, but especially on Paris Fashion Week. Fashion is not funny.
Soon, everyone backstage had heard something, and the story kept evolving with each retelling. By the time the show ended, it wasn't Balenciaga's designs or celebrity guests that dominated conversations. It was Meghan Markle's backstage aura.
Seriously, and it's also a big deal for the fashion industry, and these models work tirelessly, and it's a big deal for them to get there. You never laugh.
By the time Meghan exited the venue, smiling tightly for the cameras, the whispers had already escaped the walls. What started as backstage chatter was now social media bait. Snarky captions, subtle shade, And that one phrase that kept coming up again and again. Something was off about her aura tonight.
Hey, how is she the only one in this entire shot that's showing us maybe a dozen people? How is she the only one who gives in to her urge to laugh at someone? Boggles the mind. Someone send her home.
If the smell rumor was bad, the wardrobe whisper was worse because, in fashion, image is everything. And Paris doesn't forgive those who break the illusion.
Context. We're talking about someone, the Meg, who has spent years whining about little problems. From her brief time as a working royal in the UK, she has reiterated, doubled down on, and justified her complaints that were things as...
When Meghan Markle stepped into the show, everyone assumed her outfit was pure couture custom-made, gifted, and tailored to perfection. But Backstage sources later revealed a detail that sent shockwaves through fashion circles. Those gowns weren't gifts. They were borrowed sample pieces, loaned for the night, tags still attached. No personal fittings, nothing custom.
Or not correcting every single tabloid story. Side note, everyone knows tabloids are silly, even the people who read them. But the Meg wanted to get in the mud.
For a woman who once ruled red carpets and royal engagements, that's a quiet kind of humiliation. In this world, clothes are more than fabric. They're a language. Couture houses don't just dress people, they endorse them. When a designer gives you something custom, it means you're worth the brand's reputation. But Meghan, her name didn't make the cut. Balenciaga didn't crown her. One stylist said coldly, they tolerated her. And that's the kind of insult Paris whispers, never screams.
Whole thing in tabloids and whatnot. People wondering, joyfully, I might add, what future children may look like, as all families do when anticipating.
Fashion insiders said the brand agreed to let her wear the sample only because her team pushed hard for an appearance. It wasn't mutual excitement, it was management negotiation. That alone told the whole story. Because in Paris, true stars don't beg for clothes. The clothes beg for them.
Problems. Meghan has been complaining about little problems for years now. For 5 years, Meghan has been complaining out loud about little problems. In fact, longer than that.
One PR assistant even described how awkward it was watching Meghan's team request last-minute alterations without official approval.